Just taking a look around the corner here, the right fielder for, I can't see who it is, or with the sunshine eyes, he's very close to the line over here.
That's Turkelson over in right field. He's been in that position most of the game.
That's a big gap for a guy like Nick Shales. I'm not sure I would be that far over.
We talked about that in his first at-bat. We've seen Shales pull enough ball, good power that way. There's one to right field, so he's got him played correctly. Now the throw coming to the plate late, and Bolin will scamper home with a run. Turkelson not able to come up with it over there. Blocked out are we in the press box from the right field corner, but Shales with the base hit. Bolin coming in with a run, and Ezekiel moving over to third.
That was a one-hopper to Turkelson out there, but I got to tell you, Jim, I think if he's playing off the line, he has a chance of catching that in the air. I don't think he was could get there where he was at, but I think he had a good chance of catching that there if he's playing him more straight up.
So the Chiefs add a run, score a run here, up now 1-0. It'll be Bruno Matroni. So life will not get any easier for Amaya. Still one out, retire the leadoff hitter, and then single, double. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball. The bottom falls out of that one. So do you give Shales the RBI on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
It's not his fault that he's, in my opinion, was playing.
Couldn't see how it was fielded other than the throw came in.
Fielded it clean on the hop. Made a good throw. Definitely an RBI.
Matroni with a chance to cash in a couple more here with a base hit. Amaya needs to be careful of that power with Matroni there, way upstairs.
You just can't give these Hill United Chiefs extra bases. The play from Etter to allow another base runner, that takes an out away.
Off the plate away.
More times than not, these hitters will take advantage of that.
You see the bright sunlight in the hitter's face, that sun coming in from left center field area right into our booth as well, making it a little bit hard to see, but Chiefs seem to have figured it out.
I think it's getting to that point where it's just about over the hill, but the shadows are creeping over on top of Amaya, so they should be able to see a little bit better.
3 consecutive hits in the innings for the Chiefs. Matroni trying to make it 4. Ground ball back to Amaya, bobbles it, drops it, picks it up, and makes the out. Amaya staying with it.
Looked like he thought that was hit a little harder than what it was and kind of handcuffed him.
Kind of off balance as he went to his left to try and make the play, but a big out for Amaya, and it keeps the runners where they were at second and third. Here's Quentin Bruce. Ball off the plate. Bruce, a strikeout victim to end the first inning. Amaya would certainly like to get one here, or just the out to stem the damage at 1.
Like they have somebody loosening up for the Lumberjacks. I can't see who it is with the...
Way inside, did it catch him?
It get him on the right arm.
Bruce with that elbow pad and heads down to first base. I think Amaya is going to argue it.
I don't think he can argue that. I could hear it from up here.
Well, he said something to the home plate umpire, and the 3 will have a conference at the moment, but clearly hit batter, and he is awarded first base. So the base is now loaded. Wrong guy to see up in this situation. Base is loaded, Lenny Vilvaso.
There is no place to put him.
The inning started with White grounding out to second. Then it was single, single, double that produced the run. The double by Shales to right field. Matrone tapped back to the mound. But Amaya hitting Bruce on the elbow with the pitch, and the bases are loaded. Villalvaso coming to the plate.
Lenny's got to be real patient right here. Last bat he kind of chased out of the zone, but he needs to go back to his game and be very patient. He's got to come and bring him something here. There's no place to put him, and they're down by 1.
It was the drop away and out of the strike zone that he chased. Let's see if Amaya works that side of the plate against him. Lenny, you see with that real crouch in his stance. Ball, that's the location we talked about, just missing away.
That looks like the game plan from Tyler Booley and Luis Amaya is to work everybody away, but the key is to hit your spot. If you mess up here, Lenny could make you pay really well.
Misses away now, 2-0. No place to put Villalvaso. Bases loaded for the Chiefs. Big spot in the game for Luis Amaya. Needs an out here. Ball downstairs, so pitching a little too carefully. Now he's got to come in.
Well, that's what happens when you set up so far outside. The pitcher throws to your glove, and sometimes it's just a little too far out. That looked like a strike from our angle, but obviously it was outside.
3-0. That one down the heart of Main Street. Now the double-edged sword. You want to throw a strike, but you can't afford to throw him something catching too much of the plate with his power.
He's got to try and get him swinging on something down right here.
Ground ball to third. Olheiser catches it, bobbles it, picks up and throws to get the force out. So Fede Olheiser doing a great job. Bobbled the ball, but still had the good sense of mind to come up and make the play on the only out he had.
Yeah, it didn't look like Ezekiel was running very hard with 2 outs. It looked like he thought it was a routine play. I think he might have had a chance to get in there if he's going all out from the start.
So AWP dodges the bullet here in the third. The Chiefs, 3 hits, a run. They lead 1-0, but Luis Amaya out of trouble. We'll be right back with the fourth. So back to the action we go. Top of the fourth inning for AWP. It's 2-3-4. Fede Adair, Jonathan Lynch, and Cody Panabecker. Want to mention to our viewers we're running on low internet power tonight. So your audio might not be what it normally is. Bear with us. We'll do the best we can. Expect to have that fixed for the 9 o'clock game and definitely for tomorrow. Softball Premier TV, the #1 streaming company in the world, Luciano Lofrano, trying to work his magic to keep the games online.
Nobody better here in the business than Luciano. He does a really good job. He's been doing it for the Gremlins Network for a couple of years now. Does an outstanding job.
Always trying to stay on the cutting edge, whether it's the aerial views from his drone or mic'd up players, as we saw in the Chiefs Challenge. Had a mic on Shane Boland. I think most of the fans writing in say they really enjoyed that. So, ideas nuevas, Luciano. Always looking for a new idea.
He's got his
hard grounder, but Diaz just reaches that long arm up, grabs it and flips it over to Gonzalez for the out.
He's got his wife Carol out here this weekend, the extra camera angle. She does an outstanding job as well.
Carol over to my right. There's a platform, as we said, we're on the second level, just above the first base dugout. So she's on that first base camera and able to give you the close-up views that you all enjoy. Lynch swinging, pops that one up. Matroni's going to camp under it, but it'll be Tony Gonzalez to chase him off and make the out. Jonathan Lynch, first pitch swinging.
Yeah, that's out of character for him. He usually takes a pitch or two and tries to make things happen that way, but that pitch was right down the middle, and he thought he had a shot. So.
And Jonathan, a product of the USA program, Greg?
Yeah, he came up through the junior program. He's now on the national team, does an outstanding job out in left field for us.
Hard grounder, and Diaz says, I've got that one too.
So you're going to have to hit harder than that 2 times in a row.
Marco Diaz doing his king in the court impersonation out there. Just grabs that one, tucks it away. 2 ground outs and a pop-up, a 1-2-3 inning. Easy stuff for Marco Diaz. We played 3.5. The Chiefs on top, 1-0. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be with you all weekend long. Stick around. I'll be right back. Home half of the 4th inning for the Chiefs, scoring 1 in the prior frame. But Amaya able to escape trouble, loaded the bases, but the Chiefs not able to get the big hit to break things open. 7, 8, 9, that's Gonzalez, McGovern, and Nick White, second time through in the order for this trio. In for a called strike. 4 hits on the night for the Chiefs, all from the top 3 fellows in the batting order. Bolin has a single, as does Ezekiel. Shales a single and a double. RBI to go with it. That's the difference in the game right now. 1-0 Chiefs. Grounder foul in front of the plate.
Tony Gonzalez has been around a long time as well, playing out of Mexico. He's been with Hill United for a long time. He's a very, very good hitter, turned into a very good player on the circuit. Can play multiple positions, and his bat's come alive in the last 3 years.
Played with the Gremlins, Eric Ochoa, if I recall, down in the San Diego area back in those days. We used to catch them at the Cal Cup tournament when we were broadcasting.
Yep.
Gonzalez now with number 2, Hill, and Ochoa, of course, the top hitter on the season in 2024 for the Gremlins. Misses inside with that one. The Chiefs, as we mentioned, just 3 losses on the season. Likewise, the Gremlins. The 2 have played each other twice on the year. Gremlins getting the first one, 8-6, the championship game in Simcoe, Ontario at the Chiefs Challenge. Hard 2-hopper to Adair, throws high, but Sabate able to grab it and come down and get the bag.
Fetty's a good player. That's a tough hop. He down on it. The ball did hop up, but he was able to keep it in front and make the play. He's got really good hands.
Big smile on his face as he gets back in position. Sometimes it almost seems like the ball catches you. Good defensive play by the shortstop. Here's Josh McGovern. McGovern, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Just off the plate. So we were talking about number 1 Gremlins, number 2 Chiefs. Gremlins winning the first game. And then the Hill United coming away a 1-0 winner. That up in the Saskatoon tournament held the weekend before the World Cup qualifier. That despite a 15 strikeout performance from Jack Besgrove.
It was one of the best games Jack's thrown. It was just, again, Lenny Velavasso's a good hitter. He ran into one late in the game, and they came out on top. That was a very, very good pitcher's ball game by both sides. I don't think they had a runner past second base up to that point, but they got the job done when it counted, and they came out with a victory.
The Chiefs also with 1 win over the number 3 ranked team, the Northeast Drillers. That a 1-0 contest. A 6-1 record against Bear Creek Express. So Bear Creek handed the Chiefs one of their 3 losses.
There's quite a bit of parity in those top 5 teams this year. Anybody can line up against anybody right now and come away with a win.
Well, I think the ranking committee, of course, you look at that slate of teams and you're thinking who's going to be still standing come Saturday and Sunday in that tournament.
Any of those teams in the top 10, of course, as you know, anybody can upset anybody on any given day. These Lumberjacks are right there in the mix. They can put together a good game. They've beaten some good teams this year. They've given us a game or two already this year. They've got some good players. They've got, 4 USA national team players on the team.
So McGovern aboard with a 1-out walk. It'll be Nick White in the 9 spot, then back to Boland. Chiefs trying to add an insurance run for Marco Diaz. Just 1 run into the game so far. Shows bunt, but pulls back. The pitch is downstairs for a ball. Turkelson still over towards that foul line in right field, Greg.
Yeah, he hasn't moved over. He's kind of taken the Nick Shales approach and kind of playing where he wants to, no matter who's up. Whitey is, again, as I said, he's got great speed. There's the bunt attempt.
Olheiser coming down from third. Sabate in from first. Not sure whether he's just moving the defensive players or whether he really intends to bunt.
Guys with speed, and they know how to do that. It's very effective. You're going to show it, see if you can get the players to move their feet. That opens up those holes. As you saw on the ground ball in the last inning.
Just inside.
Routine ground ball, he almost beat out.
Well, I'm thinking if he's going to exploit the infield of the Lumberjacks, maybe towards the left side. Both Olheiser and Adair are playing fairly deep over there.
Olheiser not traditionally a third baseman. I think he's more of a first baseman, plays some outfield for Argentina.
Misses just inside. Amaya looking in to say, where's the pitch? Neither White or Amaya wanting to give in. Right now the advantage to White. 3-1 count. Grounder foul. Will go full.
I do not believe they're going to be able to double White up as fast as he is, so Eder is playing a little deeper than you normally would in double play situation just to make sure we get an out, or they get an out at second base.
Way out in front of that one. That one winds up over here in the first base dugout, right below us.
He hit that one out of his right pocket.
The sun now down behind that hill, so a little bit better visibility for the hitters. You can see on your screen that bright sun is gone.
Well, it's better for now when those lights take hold, than Diaz becomes very difficult to see under these lights.
Counts full on White. Lifted out towards right field. Turkelson's going to give chase out there. It's going to be out of play, just beyond his reach. So White definitely starting the swing early the last couple of times.
That may be Cody Gibbons up behind the Lumber Kings dugout. I can't quite see him, but the body type looks that way.
Luciano, we're going to have to add one more camera behind that third base dugout. Amaya's pitch. Fouled straight back to the screen. Pretty good hack had Nick White on that one.
He's having a good at bat right here, fouling off some pitches.
So a couple of foul balls to the right side. That one straight back to the screen. So Nick White trying to adjust that swing to the pitch.
Jim, you can see on our monitor now that the sun's gone down how difficult it is to see from that center field camera. It gets a little dark out there.
The fence out there with the advertisements, some light, some dark, so it depends on where the ball is. That one's a hard grounder, but it's going to be foul just beyond the reach of Cisco Sabate at first base.
I think he swung at ball 4 right there, but he felt like it was going to be a strike.
Well, he's had some pretty good hacks up there. I've lost track of how many pitches he's had, but it's a handful. Down with a count 3-2, you don't want to let one go.
I think we're sitting at 8.
Amaya once again with a 3-2 count. Pop up in the infield. Sabate takes a step to his left and has it for the second out of the inning. So Amaya wins the battle, but White having a pretty good at-bat up there, getting a look at a lot of pitches. We'll see if that pays dividends down the stretch.
Well, that not only helps you and helps you see the pitches, but also helps your teammates. If you can keep the at-bat alive, the more they can see the pitches coming in and get their timing down, it benefits the whole team.
Here's Shane Bolin, 1 for 2 on the night, a strikeout first time up, and then singled and scored the lone run of the game. Little drop ball on the outside edge, good over the top rotation, might have taken a little bit off of it as well. It's McGovern at first, 2 outs. Bolin trying to add an insurance run. Off the plate away, Bully looks down to first, but making a good glove grab on that one. Two outs, we'll see if they think about moving McGovern. A little flare in the infield. It'll be Fede Adair jogging over behind second base to make the catch. Bolin didn't get too much of that one, and the pop-up is the third out of the inning. For the Chiefs in the fourth. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. We've played 4 complete. Hill United Chiefs on top of this one, 1-0. We'll be back with more great action from the Gremlins Invitational at Elkland, Pennsylvania. Top of the 5th inning for the Lumberjacks. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 in that order. Olheiser, Sabate, and Bully.
It's just hard to get the bat through on that hard drop. you can make contact, but you don't really get much to show for it.
Well, our radar gun is down at the moment, but we had a number of pitches in the first inning coming in right at 85 miles per hour.
He's going to stay right there in that range, 80 to 85, mostly around the 80, 82 range. But occasionally he does heat up to 85. I think last year he heated up here to 88, a couple of pitches under the lights.
Well, Greg, you talked about the 4 USA players on the AWP team, but Marco, of course, a new member of the USA national team. And how do you think that changes the perspective for USA going into that World Cup qualifier in September?
Well, we always go in expecting to be able to compete and hopefully medal, but with Marcos, that definitely is a big plus for us. Brad Kilpatrick does an outstanding job. But having the 2 of them now, along with Guizdala and I believe Javier Caballeros will be on the squad as well. Excuse me.
Gibbons.
Cody Gibbons will be on the squad. So get him some experience as well. It's a qualifier, so hopefully we can get him some quality innings. But the outlook looks good, right? Anytime you have a 21-year-old that throws as hard as he does, you're hoping that the control comes with it eventually, but it definitely helps us.
In for called strike 3. Olheiser started down to first base, but he'll have to backtrack. He's down on strikes.
He didn't think that was a strike.
Well, you mentioned Kilpatrick and Gibbons. They both have had their respective USA teams onto the podium. Kilpatrick helping the USA to bronze, and young Cody earning a gold down in his tournament, his efforts for the U18, U19 program.
Yeah, he did. Was it U or was it U23 in the qualifier?
18, I believe, because I saw a news release that the coaching staff from that U18 team will move up to U23, and so they'll be coaching the same group of kids or same pool of kids that they had at the lower division.
You are correct. It was the U18. Now that I'm thinking back, yeah, he did a great job, and Brad pitched extremely well over in New Zealand for the bronze medal.
Line foul right at the dugout. So the qualifier in Group C that the USA will play in comes up in September, Greg?
September, I believe it's the 17th or 18th. Starts on Tuesday or Wednesday and runs through that weekend. I can't name all the teams off the top of my head. I know it's the USA, Japan, Guatemala. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the fans have looked at that and said Japan and USA would be the favorites. Of course, Guatemala with Jorge Segura will be very competitive. 2 out of that qualifier will advance to next year's World Cup. The A and B groups have already been completed. The A group with Jack Besgrove and his Australia team coming out of Hermosillo, Mexico, qualifier, and then Prince Albert with the New Zealand Black Sox. Canada comes in, of course, as the 3 in that qualifier, but they're the hosts, so they'll be there.
Yeah, so you know we're going in to look like or going in to win it. Obviously, that's our goal. We can slide in there if we get second or even third, I believe.
Little flare. That one's going to be just beyond the reach of second baseman Lenny Vilvaso. Boy, an all-out effort. Got glove on it, just couldn't come up with it. Watch the replay on this one.
Yeah, it looked like he just dove a little too far. It was a great effort, and it just hit him in the palm of the hand or maybe on the heel and popped out. But he took a really good angle on that. That's a tough play.
All the way extended right on the edge of that grass. But aboard is Cisco Sabate with the base hit. It'll be Tyler Bully.
The wild card situation for that tournament could make things interesting. Depends because the
lace to the gap in right center field. That one's going to two-hop the fence. Around second on his way to third, and coming home is Cisco Sabate. Safe. We've got a tie game.
That was a really nice swing by Tyler Booley. He got something he liked and just drove it right in the gap. Sabate hustling all the way from first base.
No hesitation by Sabate. Here's the replay on this. Looked like maybe caught a little bit too much of the plate. Up in the zone, and Bully made him pay. The ball 2 hops the fence, but you see Sabate off to the races, never broke stride coming around third. He had home in mind the whole way. The throw comes in late.
Yeah, that's good base running by Sabate. He saw that off the bat that it was going to be in the gap and never looked back.
So a 1-out double ties the game. Bully now down at second base, and Danny Alstead at the plate. Swing and a miss on the rise ball.
Danny's going to have to lay off of that pitch. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to that. He's going to have to get something down in the zone or just off the plate that he can handle.
Well, Alstead, as Greg mentioned, one of those players that can hit the better pitching. He just needs to lay off the balls out of the zone. Swing and a miss, tied him up inside. There's the difference velocity makes on that pitch. Meanwhile, down on the first base line, looks like Godoy up and throwing for the Chiefs. So
I wouldn't mess around with anything on a changeup here. I'd just go right at him.
Drop ball down and away. So upstairs with a rise, tied him up inside and then busts one down. No way to catch up with it.
Roman, 4 part of the USA coaching staff that went to New Zealand. The assistant coaches haven't been named yet for the qualifier, but expect he would be in the mix for that as well.
So Vala will step in the 9 spot. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Diaz, but mixed in with that, an infield single off the glove of Vilvaso, and then the booming double to the gap in right center by Bully.
You'd like to see your batters right here with 2 outs and a runner at second try and drive him in. He's in scoring position, but as a 9-hitter, your thought process, in my opinion, changes a little bit. As fast as he is, I wouldn't be surprised to see him put the ball on the ground and try and roll it over for the top of the order.
Well, first base is open, so Vala would just like to find a way to base and extend the inning. Lots of noise coming out of that AWP Lumberjacks dugout. The double by Bully driving in the tying run has really given them a lift here in the 5th. So we talked about the top 5 teams in this tournament. Number 8 is on the field, AWP, and we'll get a first look at the number 9 team, the Grand Prairie Pirates, rolling in to Elkland.
That's a good young team right there, the Grand Prairie Pirates coming out. Chris Waverick taking over the helm. Chris, an old California A's and Vancouver Gray Sox. He's been around a long time, and he's a good influence for that team right there.
So it's Vala at the plate trying to get the runner home. It's not Bully at second, by the way. Bully, the catcher, out on the 2-out catcher rule, trying to pick up a number out there and see who our guest is. Can't quite see. It looks like Frank Kimlinger.
Frank Kimlinger, another member. He just got named to the U.S. team as well. Very, very fast runner. Young center fielder, outfielder, just learning how to hit at this level, but he's got some tools.
Had himself a pretty good tournament last weekend in Ashland, Ohio for these Lumberjacks. So the Lumberjacks see their opportunity right now, here and now. They've tied the game. They would love to get another run to go on top. Turkelson waiting on deck, yelling encouragement to Vala. Foul tip. So the count 1-2, advantage Marco Diaz here against Juan Vala in the 5th. Swing and a miss, buries that one downstairs and strikes out of trouble. 3 strikeouts in the inning, but a hit, 2 hits, including the RBI double by Bully. We're tied at 1 through 4.5 innings of play. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational. I'm Jim Flanagan on the Gremlins Network. We'll be right back with more great action. Don't go away. Home half of the 5th inning for the Chiefs, trying to get that run back. Right now the game tied at 1. 2, 3, 4 in the batting order. Ezekiel, Shales, and Matroni. Heart of the Hill United batting order.
You know, I know we've talked about having, 7 of the top 10 teams here this weekend, but I see them now walking around the ballpark getting ready to play, and it's pretty impressive, the quality of teams that are at this tournament.
No easy games for any of these teams throughout the weekend. If you're a fastball fan, a great weekend to spend somewhere around the house, but if you have to go out and run some errands, put us in your pocket, take your cell phone, watch it, listen to it. We like to travel with you.
All of the games that the Gremlins play will be broadcast live. I think Luciano is going to stream some of the other games, maybe in Spanish, or just let the stream go. So you might be able to catch all of the action this weekend. All of the games on Sunday should be televised, or streamed, excuse me.
Ezekiel lays off that pitch outside. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Single back in that 1-run 3rd inning. Bolin had singled. Ezekiel followed with a single, then Shales the double. That's how they got their run. Mirror image of the AWP run, single and a double. In for a called strike on the outside edge. So Amaya living on the black edge of that plate, especially away from the right-handers.
It's Brad Kilpatrick warming up behind the dugout over there.
Ground ball to short. Up with it is Adair. A high throw again, but Sabate poised and ready makes the catch for the out.
Another nice play by Eder. I'd like to see him use his legs more on his throws and maybe bring those down a little bit. I think that's causing the high throws from him.
Well, you see Ezekiel reaching for that one. The ball might have been out of the strike zone, but trying to make some contact was Brad.
It's good to see Kilpatrick here. I didn't think he was going to be able to play much this summer. He took a new job. He's the assistant pitching coach, or the head pitching coach at the University of Washington.
Shales lifts one high to right field. It's going to be out of play. Had the distance just on the other side of that fence down the right field line.
As I was saying, he just took the job as the pitching coach at the University of Washington and had some recruiting commitments that he had to get to as a brand new job. So it's good to see him at the ballpark this summer.
Well, he threw a gem against the New York Gremlins in Port Huron. He pitched that semifinal game, the Gremlins winning, but Kilpatrick kept his team in the game throughout that one.
He was named to the national team again for the qualifier in September. Unfortunately, he had to decline that invitation because of the work commitment that he now has for Washington.
Way inside, almost hit him.
Jim, I'll take a second to say hi to my lovely wife, Colleen, listening back home and watching. She's put up with me for a long time, and This week I had some travel troubles and had to stay back here for the whole week.
Echo that. My lovely wife, Maddie, home in California, tuning in and watching this one. I'll say a quick hello to her as well.
I could not do this without her. She allows me to be silly and chase this thing around the country, so I love you, babe.
Amaya's pitch to Shales, misses downstairs, and Nick is aboard with a walk.
That was a pretty good pitch right there with 2 strikes. 1 strike, I guess there was, excuse me.
Here you see it on the replay, just a little bit downstairs. Bully trying to frame it.
I think that missed in a little. I don't know if it was down. I couldn't tell.
So Shales aboard with a 1-out walk. And it'll be Bruno Matroni at the plate. The sun, as we said, is down, not shining in from that left center field area anymore. The lights are on, just starting to take effect. We're sort of in that in-between period of sunlight to the lights. Matroni takes a hack at that one, just gets a piece.
With 1 out here, the double play is in order, so they're going to be playing deep. Matroni does not run well any longer, so they should have plenty of time at anything hit near them.
Pannebecker almost on the grass over at second. Fede Adair maybe a step in front of the grass at short. Olheiser guarding the line over at third. Matroni lays off. Ball out of the zone outside.
Yeah, he's got to stay out of that zone with Bruno up. If he comes anywhere close, he's going to let him know it's a strike. As you can see, Booley setting up on the outer half or even on the corner.
Lays off, quick snap, throw down to Sabate, puts a nice tag on Shales, chases him around the bag.
It was a really nice throw by Tyler Booley from his knees, throwing across his body like that.
Trying to keep Shales honest or close to the bag over at first base. Laced down the right field line, foul again.
If you watch that replay, you can see one of the reasons that makes Bruno such a good hitter is he saw that off-speed pitch, kept his hands back, and was able to fight that off. He made pretty good contact with that.
Bear Creek Express down that right field line, putting that one back in play. They'll take on Team 518 at 9 p.m. tonight following this game.
Excited to see the 518 team. It's a bunch of young kids from the East Coast.
Matroni just lays off that one. Had an idea, but doesn't offer.
I believe they have Liam Potts from New Zealand. The lefty, young lefty that's on the national team, was up the qualifier. That's going to be pitching for them tonight.
Laced into center field, going back to his right and makes the running catch. Nice job on that one by Vala. Looked like the ball might make it to the fence, but ran that one down. Meanwhile, Shale is having to go all the way back to first base. Here you see the replay.
Yeah, he got a bad break on that, a bad jump, but his speed allows him to make up for that and makes a really nice play to save a double and possibly a run.
Makes the catch and comes up throwing, sends Shales back to first base. So 2 outs in the inning. Matroni just missing a chance to drive in a run. Here's Quentin Bruce.
He put a charge into that one. That was hit pretty solid.
Much like the ball that Bully hit for the double, except Bully's was in the gap. Matroni's didn't find the gap. Swing and a miss. Good drop ball from Amaya. Bottom falls out. 1-1 ball game here in the 5th. Number 2 ranked Chiefs, number 8 ranked Lumberjacks. Grounded foul over on the right side.
You can see when Hill United makes the contact, most of the pitches are up in the zone above the waist. When he's got his drop working and he can control it on the outer edges, they swing through that. He's just got to really work hard at keeping that ball down.
Bruce, the lefty with good speed too, presents a little different equation for Amaya. Villalvaso would be next. Swing and a miss, drop ball. Down on strikes goes Bruce. Down go the Chiefs in the 5th, no runs.
There's that hard drop on the inner half of the plate. You see Booley set up late, and it just bites right at the end. A lot of late movement.
To the 6th we go. We'll be back with more great action from Elkland, Pennsylvania. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be back with the end of this one. Top half of the 6th inning and top half of the batting order for AWP. That'll be Valdi Turkelson. Ed Aaron Lynch to follow. Turkelson looking for a way to get aboard here and give the Lumberjacks a chance, and he does just that, just foul though.
He just missed a extra base hit right there.
Turkelson runs very well, just went the other way with a pitch, good contact, letting the velocity of Diaz do the work.
Shales looks like he's made an adjustment, and now he's over well closer to the line than he has been earlier in the game.
So a little more conventional defensive positioning. In fact, Bola now shaded towards third base with a big hole up the middle. Swinging a foul tip.
That was a big swing, and they don't show any indication of not being able to see the pitches right now.
Earlier in the game, it was Shales playing in the 5.5 hole, almost like a shortstop. Now it's Boland with a big hole up the middle. Bounces that one in the dirt. Turkelson lays off.
Boland is standing almost identical to where Shales was previously in the game. They are way shifted over for the hard-throwing Diaz.
Villalvaso and Gonzalez on the right side of the infield. Conventional positioning there. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good hard drop ball from Diaz. Out number 1.
Yeah, that was just by him. He had no shot at that one. Fetty Etter's a really good player, Jim. I've watched him play for a few years now, and I'm really impressed with the way he handles himself, and he runs the bases extremely well, hustles. He's just an all-around good player.
A couple of ground outs against Diaz tonight, so he's been able to put the bat on the ball, making the contact.
He's been a member of the Argentinian national team for a couple of cycles now.
Just misses inside. Lace down the line to left field, but over towards the foul line to make a nice catch. Quentin Bruce runs that one down.
That was a really nice play against a lefty hitting a hard line drive. The ball tailing away from him towards the line. Was able to get his feet turned around and makes a nice play here.
There you see in the replay, just going the other way with it. Good hard line drive down the left field line. 2 outs, though, and nobody aboard. Jonathan Lynch, we'll see what he can do. Strikeout and a pop-up against Diaz thus far.
Jonathan's one of the few players you might want to throw strikes to. He is the best bad ball hitter in softball. He's like the old Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Hit anything that's off the plate.
Never met a pitch he didn't like,
That's right. He will swing at some pitches and hit them.
Hard one on the outside edge. Just off the plate.
Jonathan's got pretty good power for a little guy. He gets the bat head through. Nice level swing.
Swinging a foul tip. Still a lot of chatter coming out of that third base dugout from AWP. They are up and focused in this one. Playing a team ranked number 2, dead even.
Johnny used to hit the ball really, really hard and a lot of power to left field, and I think he's gone away with letting the ball travel and going that way with it.
Foul tip, just caught the edge of the bat, tried to hold up but couldn't get it out of the way. Maybe caught a little bit of his hand too. Gremlins minus Jerome Remeke on a hit by pitch from Diaz.
It was up in Canada when he was with playing for New Zealand, or Zenon Winters still down with an ankle injury.
So 2 on the DL for the Gremlins. Always have to be careful to get those hands out of the way against a guy that throws as hard as Diaz.
Yeah, that broke Ramaki's bone right above the wrist.
Grounder picked up by Diaz, a little spin move and a lazy throw back to first. Makes it look easy. 3 up and down for Marco Diaz in the Chiefs in the 6th. To the home half we go, still tied at 1. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex in Elkland, Pennsylvania. We'll be back with more. Home half of the 6th inning for the Chiefs. It'll start off with Lenny Vilvaso, Tony Gonzalez, Josh McGovern, and Nick White if we get that far. The Chiefs scoring their run back in the 3rd after a 1 out was recorded. Single, double. The double by Shales drove in a run for the Lumberjacks. Tyler Bully with a double to drive in their run. That's where we are right now, tied at 1. Vilvaso a strikeout and a fielder's choice. Takes one off the plate downstairs for the ball.
Amaya doing a good job at handling this Chiefs lineup. I think, what do they have, 3 hits to my count, keeping the Lumberjacks in the ball game.
In for a called strike. It was Vilvaso's fielder's choice that ended that potentially big inning for the Chiefs. They had bases loaded. Vilvaso hits the ball down to 3rd, and Olheiser stayed with it long enough to come to the plate with a throw to get Ezekiel out. Big turning point for the Lumberjacks. They turned around and tied the game. Amaya surrendering only the 1 run in that 3rd inning. A number of players on this Chief lineup capable of putting their team on top. with one swing of the bat. Villalvaso certainly among them. Lifts that one into the gap in left center. It's going to be chased down at the fence by Vala. And Villalvaso's got himself a leadoff double.
Had a really good swing there, drove the ball to the gap, had a thought of going to third, but thought better at it. And I think that's a good decision with nobody out.
Here you see the replay. The ball was actually up and out, but he reached up and grabbed it. Couple 3 hops to the fence.
Lenny's very strong. He's been working out quite a bit in the last year and a half. He's a very strong young man, got a very compact swing and was able to get the bat head around.
So we are in the 6th. The Chiefs would like to score a run, get 3 outs, and call it a day. Gonzalez 0 for 2 on the night, a strikeout and a ground out to short.
Tony going to look to push something to the right side here and see if he can move Villalvaso over and possibly score a run on a base hit. Handles the bat extremely well, and if they're pitching him away, he shouldn't have, he's got a good opportunity to do that.
In for a called strike. You see Gonzalez's feet way back in the box, giving himself a little longer look at the pitch. That's where he feels comfortable. Little grounder off his foot, foul on the left side. Full slate of games on tap for you tomorrow, 9, 11, 1, 3, 5.
Sure. I can look at the schedule, but I think the Gremlins play at 11, 1, and 5.
I think you are correct. I know it's at 11. These Chiefs among those 3 teams.
That would be at 11 o'clock. I mean at 1 o'clock, excuse me. I believe AWP is at 5 o'clock. And Bear Creek first thing in the morning. I think.
2-2 to Gonzalez. Foul tip straight back to the screen. Just missed that one, did Tony. The lights have taken full effect here at the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex. A very different lighting and visual for hitters than we started with that bright sunlight at 7 p.m. tonight. Just off the plate outside, Amaya trying to work that black side of the plate.
Now he's gotten that pitch, and so has Diaz throughout the day, and it's tough as a hitter and a pitcher when you're getting a certain pitch, and then all of a sudden it's not there.
Foul tip, we'll do it again.
Like to see something hard down and in here with two strikes, full count.
I'll be a contrarian and say it's going to be down and away from Gonzalez.
I said I'd like to see it, not what was going to happen.
Foul tip, got just a piece of it, stays alive.
Make that cross buoy up a little bit.
Here's the pitch on the replay, or maybe got a little bit too much of the zone. No.
The ball got too much of his glove. Didn't stick. Hooley was a member of the USA team down in New Zealand.
Lace to the left fielder out there coming around third. He's going to score easily. Is Vilvaso. Line drive shot to left fielder Lynch out in left field. So a long, patient at-bat for Gonzalez pays off, drives in the run.
Got way too much of the plate here. Just right down Grand Central.
So we were guessing either in or out, but that one too much of the plate.
And high. It wasn't a very competitive pitch, in my opinion, with full count.
That's going to bring a visit from the skipper. Don't know if we're going to see a change here. Looks like handshakes around, so I think that's going to be all for Amaya. Chiefs starting out in the 6th inning with a couple of base hits. They've turned one of them into a run. It was the leadoff double by Vilvaso, came around to score on Gonzalez's line shot.
Cody Gibbons.
And it'll be the young right-hander Cody Gibbons for AWP. Greg, you've seen Gibbons a good bit more than I.
He's a good pitcher. He's a good young pitcher, and people, you know, he's been around for a long time. He's been throwing on the circuit since he's like 15, and I think he's only 19. People they don't understand that, and you know, he does have some control problems at times. He tries to do too much, but again, he's a young kid. He's got a lot of potential, and he's got a good future ahead of him.
Well, the one thing we saw from him in the U18 World Cup is a lot of innings. Give him the ball. He wants the ball every game. He will throw all day for you. Good hard throwing right-hander.
Well, that's the good and the bad, right? So he wants the ball all the time, and he wants to throw hard all the time. And against his age group, he was able to have that success. But these are grown men he's throwing against, and he has a tendency to overthrow when he starts to throw that hard. If you just let the ball go, hit his spots, he's going to have much more success. He does throw extremely hard, though. People don't realize that.
So the first batter he will face is Josh McGovern. We're at the 8th spot in the batting order for Hill United. Nick White would be next. Nobody out in the inning, 1 run in. It's a 2-1 ball game right now. I think the change from Amaya simply a couple times through the batting order. This was the 3rd time through. Hitters make the adjustments, and the Chiefs, a talented team, did just that.
Yeah, not a bad strategy here by the Lumberjacks. Get a new arm in there and see what he can do. But you got to score some runs.
I think the key right now for Gibbons is to be able to throw some strikes.
That is the key. You can't come in here and walk guys and put extra guys on base against a team like Hill United, because they'll make you pay for that. We have a new runner at first base.
That's
The batter for the Chiefs, designated player, Josh McGovern.
it is a runner for Gonzalez. Let's see if we can pick up the number on that.
14.
Not picking that up on my scorecard unless it's somebody already.
First pitch was a ball.
McGovern 0 for 1, had a walk his last time up. Both of those at-bats, of course, against Amaya, so a new look from Gibbons. Going on the pitch, safe. Adair trying to make the tag as he runs by, but the runner ahead of the throw, so he's now in scoring position. Still nobody out. Tyler Branchard, the runner, in for Gonzalez, now stealing second. So Hill United can play a little more aggressively here, up by a run, trying to add to that, put some pressure on the defense. Gibbons missing with that one just downstairs.
This is where he's got to keep his composure. Sometimes when he doesn't get a call he thinks is a strike, he starts to try and overdo it and overthrow. He needs to just regroup here, control what he can control, and throw strikes.
Ball upstairs. First base open, but certainly don't want to put on any extra base runners for the Chiefs. They'll do damage on their own. Grounder foul up along the right side. Good example of that velocity you talked about late on the pitch was McGovern. Sorry, we don't have our radar gun in operation, or we could compare with Mr. Diaz.
He throws 74 to 76 when he's throwing hard.
Foul tip, we'll do it again.
Lives around 72, 74. That matches with most of the pitchers out there, Cleary and some of the others. There are some that throw harder, not quite as hard as Diaz, but Mata throws hard. Ooh.
Just off the plate, and McGovern aboard with a walk.
That looked like a pretty good pitch. I'm not sure where that missed.
We'll get a second look at it here. We'll let you be the judge.
Might have been down a little bit.
Bully trying to frame it, but
it wasn't down. It must have been in,
I think, a little bit. Here's Nick White, a ground out and a pop-up. Last time up, 2 aboard, still nobody out. Lumberjacks looking for outs right now. Shows bunt. Olheiser coming in from third. Adair over to third to cover. Everybody moving. The same thing we talked about with White last time. Was he showing bunt or intending to bunt? They can afford to do either here. Shows bunt again, pulls back. It's a ball.
It's hard to tell if he's intending to bunt. He doesn't get his hands out in front like most bunters do. I don't know if that's something he was taught as a young guy, but he keeps them kind of back out over the plate as opposed to out in front.
Little flare down the left field line, foul. Hits and lands on the tarp.
Almost kind of a standing slap swing, just kind of flailed at it. That's a double, though, if it hits in. That kid can run.
Just trying to put the ball over the head of Olheiser, you see there on the replay, and Adair will do a little swan dive there on the rain tarp. Some antics by the shortstop. Lifted to right field. Turkelson backing up on it, has a beat on it, makes the catch. Tagging on the catch is Branchard. Tyler Branchard, who came on to run for Tony. So runners at the corners for the Chiefs. Big out for AWP. But back to the top of the order, and that's been the part of the batting order that's done all the work tonight.
I could not see how deep that went right due to our view, but it seems like Valdi did a good job of getting the ball in, holding the runner at first.
Had to take a few steps back, so it was fairly deep. They weren't going to keep Branchard from third, but as you say, did a good job of keeping the other runner from moving up to scoring position.
Not out of the woods yet. This is a tough hitter right here.
Bolin 1 for 3 on the night. He had the single in the third, came around to score the first run for the Chiefs. All 3 of those at-bats against Amaya. Downstairs, in for a called strike at the knees.
Wow. Bolin just has to laugh that one off. think that was down and in.
There you see the open stance from Bolin. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball. That one up and out of the strike zone. So Bolin down on strikes. Big strikeout for Cody Gibbons in the inning.
That'll give him a little confidence boost.
Here you see the replay on that rise ball. Up and away. That one was started out of the zone and kept on going. Brad Ezekiel with a chance here. Single back in that one-run third inning for the Chiefs. McGovern still down here at first base. Branchard over at third. Gibbons looking for that third out, trying to get the Lumberjacks out of here. Pop up, and it's going to be out of play on the right side.
Cody wasn't happy with that pitch. Shakes his head as he walks back to the pitching circle and receives the ball. He didn't want to kind of give up that much of the plate.
If the ball stays fair, he's out of the inning. I'm Jim Flanagan here with Greg Hicks. We'll be back with the seventh. Last chance for the Lumberjacks here in the seventh. 4, 5, 6, it's Pannebecker, Olheiser, and Sabate. They need a run to tie.
Jim, that's Lucci Biondi that came in to catch for McGovern. Number 34.
In for a strike at the knees. Pannebecker had a single to center off of Diaz back in the second. Diaz set the next three hitters down in order and stranded Pannebecker, but he put a pretty good bat on the ball. Grounded foul on the right side.
Pretty good swing by Cody. This is where they really have to exercise their patience and not chase out of the zone. They're down to their last three outs, chasing a run. They're in the middle of their lineup, though, so they've got every opportunity here. Cody's turned into a very good hitter, another member of the USA squad that'll represent the USA in September.
Lays off the high one. New catcher thrown in the seventh inning. It's got to be a little bit difficult coming off the bench like that to catch someone the caliber of Diaz.
In a one-run game, yeah.
Foul tip, good hack at it, has Pannebecker.
A really good cut by Cody. They get somebody on, and that could play a part. It's you haven't seen a guy all day, and you come in under these lights. It's a tough position to be in.
Foul tip, Pannebecker battling away. I think twofold coming into a night game like this too. Diaz throws decidedly harder than anyone else around, so the ball's going to get up on you quicker as a catcher. And then add to that a little bit more difficult lighting situation. You can see it on your screen how dark it's gotten. Grounder foul, battling to stay alive is Pannebecker.
Cody's letting the ball get deep on him. He's letting the ball, seeing it as long as he can, fouling him off to stay alive.
Lumberjacks have made some hard contact several times tonight. Right now, Pannebecker just trying to find a way to first.
He's got good power. If he can get barrel on a ball, it could carry.
Swing and a miss right on by Pannebecker. A little extra velocity on that one.
That was just straight gas.
7th inning, no reason to save any of it, says Diaz. Lets one fly. Here's Fede Olheiser. Olheiser, 2-time strikeout victim, both looking outside edge for a strike. Diaz seems to have saved some of his best for the 7th, really letting it fly right now.
It's fun to watch some of these younger pitchers stay as strong as they do in the later innings.
Just getting warmed up, he says.
Some of the older guys, you know, they run out of that gas and they know how to pace themselves. These kids just want to throw and their adrenaline gets pumping and they throw just as hard in the 7th as they do in the 1st. Notice Jack Besgrove gets stronger as the game goes on.
Hard ground ball off the glove at second base, and aboard on the error is Olheiser.
That's an uncharacteristical error.
Villalvaso not able to come up with the ball.
He's usually pretty sure-handed over there. I'm not sure if he just lost sight of it.
Watch on the replay. Olheiser does a pretty good job of just going with it and bangs off the glove of Villalvaso. So the tying run aboard, 1 out, and it's Cisco Sabate, the veteran from Argentina.
Lumberjacks, the first baseman, Cisco Sabate.
Lays off the high one.
Sabate, a good hitter. They've got Booley, who hit the double in the gap on deck, and he's got a little power as well.
Credit Olheiser for a good at-bat. He had gone down looking twice. He wasn't going to go down again that way. Laced down the line.
He just
foul,
missed that,
just missed. Rattling that one in the corner.
That was 6 inches if it was an inch. That was very close, and that would have possibly scored Olheiser.
There you see it on the replay by the third baseman over there, Nick Shales.
It almost looks fair on the replay, but you could clearly see it was foul.
AWP fans back home rooting with their hearts, thought maybe that one was going to find a way fair. So some hard contact by Sabate, following the hard contact by Olheiser.
You see Quentin Bruce move all the way nearly, what is he, about 15 feet off the line is all now. They're spread out all the way across. There's a lot of big gaps there if he's able to put one there.
Ezekiel playing fairly straight away, maybe shaded a little bit towards right field.
He's playing pretty shallow, but he goes back very, very well on balls. He's a very good center fielder.
Yeah. Swing and a miss comes off that one. Sabate and the ball moving in different directions on that one. Let's see if he stays put. Swing and a miss. Good rise ball. Down on strikes goes Sabate.
That's a pitch Marco's trying to develop, that rise ball. He throws it so hard that it doesn't have to jump much. You just change the eye level, and it's pretty effective.
Next out for the Lumberjacks, the catcher.
So the Lumberjacks down to their final out. Tying run in the form of Olheiser down at first base and Booley with the lone RBI at the plate. Strike in at the letter. Nice shot of the field there. You see the lighting in full effect, but some shadows along the way. Booley's double was to left center. Banged it off the fence. In for a strike. Surprised they haven't run for Olheiser, perhaps?
He runs pretty well for a big guy. He really does. I'm not sure they have anybody over there that's any faster.
Diaz trying to close it out here against the Lumberjacks. Foul tip by Bully. He saw it. Marco Diaz has gone the distance for the Chiefs.
That get him?
Bully down. I'm not sure if it nicked him, and I think it did. So he's going to take his base. We'll have to see in the replay where it nicked him, but looked like he was starting to swing, and then it came inside on him there. Must have caught him on the thigh or the knee. Let's see. Thank you for the replays, Mr. Lofrano.
Just above the knee. Hill United wanted to check and see if he actually swung through that before it hit him.
So the hit by pitch puts the tying run at second base. It's Olheiser.
I got to imagine all he's telling him is just go right at him.
And I believe Kimlinger will be the batter.
Frank Kimlinger, yeah.
Kimlinger came on into the lineup midway in the game, will now bat. And Greg, you said another one of the USA national team players on this Lumberjack squad.
Yep, he was just named recently, a couple weeks ago. Had a really good camp back in June in Oklahoma City. Good young player.
So Mike Marrero will come in to run for Bully. So substitution as opposed to a two-out catcher rule.
Interesting.
Grounder off the glove of Diaz. Up with it is Villalvaso over to first. That's the ball game. The Chiefs coming away with a 2-1 win in a close, hardly fought game by the AWP Lumberjacks. Winning pitcher Marco Diaz. Game number one in the books. Greg Hicks, your thoughts?
That was a good outing by both sides and the pitching aspect of it. Louis did a great job with keeping Hill in check for most of the game. And for the most part, Cody didn't do bad the inning he threw.
No, Amaya kept his team in the ball game. There was that one inning when they had the bases loaded, and he showed a lot of heart pitching out of trouble. Gibbons, the youngster, coming into a nervous situation there.
Was around the plate. He did a really good job. Again,
a couple of punch outs to get out of that inning.
Number 2 team in the world, and you played them tough the whole game, and you lose 2-1. It is what it is, and you line up and you do it again tomorrow. But both teams played exceptionally well. The Lumberjacks showed a lot of heart, staying in it. They were in it to the end. Just a good all-around ball game.
Another ball game coming up right after this, 9 p.m. scheduled start. Bear Creek Express, they are now the number 4 ranked team in the world. They've been at number 3 most of the year. And I think it's more a situation where the Drillers are moving up to number 3, probably on the strength of the win over the Gremlins in Ashland last weekend.
That and combined, and I think Bear Creek lost a game or two in Kitchener last week, and that kind of affected them as well. So just a combination. You never know what the rankers are doing. I think there's 10 or 12 or something of them, or 14, whatever that is, and everybody's got an opinion, and none of it matters until you line up at the ISC World Tournament on that Saturday.
Bear Creek, of course, with that veteran pitching staff, Justin Schofield, Sean Cleary, Adam Folkert.
And they haven't really had Cleary much this year. He only has only been, I think he's here this weekend, but he doesn't throw every tournament anymore. Living way up in Nova Scotia, and at his age, I think he's over 40 now. Still very, very effective, but I think he limits his playing time with his family and stays home with the family some. So they're going to be a different ball club this weekend than they were last weekend. And they, with Schofield and I can't remember the young man's name from Africa, but he throws
Hadi Mazulakwa. Took me a while to pronounce that one.
And he throws extremely well. He gave us fits in Port Huron So they've got a really good staff, and I wouldn't count them out of anything. As I said, the top, 5 or 7 teams, anybody can line up on any given day, and let's see who's at the end on Saturday in Vancouver.
We'll get a look at those teams and many more all weekend long. 9 o'clock game coming right up. Final score here in Game 1. Again, the Hill United Chiefs, a 2-1 winner over the AWP Lumberjacks. Check the schedule for tomorrow. We'll be on the air all day. 3 Gremlin games on the Gremlins Network. With Greg Hicks, I'm Jim Flanagan from the Duke Sherman Memorial Complex in Elkland, Pennsylvania.
Stay tuned for this next game, and I believe it's going to be streamed. Is it going to be broadcast in Spanish, my friend? Luciano is going to broadcast it in Spanish, but it will be streamed. So we'll see you tomorrow.
The latest ball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas.
Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more.
The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.